Alright, good afternoon everyone. Today is April 2nd, 2012. I'm going to go over all the trades we took in the live trading room this morning. We focused quite a bit on gold this morning, though we did trade the YM and the Russell as well. Let me start with the results. We ended the morning session plus 29 ticks per contract on gold, and the Russell, we were down 5 ticks per contract, and the YM, we were plus 20 ticks per contract. Alright, that was our morning. Now let me just go through all the setups. I tried to trade the ES, but there was one spot right here to enter, and at the time it was right inside the weekly trading zone over here. So I didn't take this entry, but this is where it would have been this morning. Okay, on the 4-tick range. There was another one right here that I didn't even see. We needed a fresh bubble down there. You see there are 0 ticks on the ES. I tried to trade that this morning, but it just didn't come together the way we needed it to. Okay, I didn't take this opportunity right here. There was an opportunity right here where we had the bullish cross and pull back down to the BBC, which is also right on top of the zone and support. That would have been a good opportunity to go long right there on the 10,000 contract ES. Let me point that out for you. Right there. Now I'm going to change the color of these arrows because I did not actually take these trades. And the trades that I do take will have a yellow arrow. Okay, the trades I did take have a yellow arrow. The other trades have orange arrows or some other color. That was the opportunity right there on the 10,000 contract. From a 2100 naked 2100 perspective, this is something that I don't go over all that often, but we have to wait till we get a 5-point move to really take a look at it. This morning, for the first part of the morning, it was stuck inside the zones. You really didn't have any opportunity. Right here was the first time that it got outside the zones where you could have traded it, where it started to close on the other side here. The move, you expect a 5-point swing, went from 1405 up to 1409. That was 4 points. Okay, you probably wouldn't have wanted to trade it. Actually, you know what? You probably wouldn't have even wanted to trade it then because it had already made a 4-point move. So you would have expected a 5-point move back. So let's just skip that for now. There was a little gap this morning. I'll show you. Right here. There was a small gap down this morning. All right, market gap down from last night, and then it ran. Well, not straight up, but it ran right up through all the zones. You see? Okay, that's the ES. Now on the 2100 tick with all the indicators on it, you can see right here, it had the same setups as the 10K right here inside the zone. Once it got outside the zone, it pulled back to the BBC right here. The cycle wasn't really in favor of the trade, but the trade was there. There was something that was pointed out earlier on in the room this morning, right here a little after 10 o'clock this morning. We had the envelope, the blue envelope was pierced by the green trend strength line right here on the CFDMT. This is on the 10,000 contract chart. That usually indicates a 5 to 6 point move in the direction of the envelope. So it was suggesting a 5 to 6 point move up. I mean, you can see it happened here at 1406 roughly. And I mean, you can see where it went. Let's see. Let's look at the NQ next. Okay, we didn't trade the NQ, but we did point out some opportunities on the NQ this morning. There were a few of them. All right, these arrows, this arrow anyway, should not be that color. It should be orange. Let me just change it because I didn't take any trades on the NQ, but I did point out a couple opportunities. Yeah. Just put another one here. These are the opportunities I pointed out this morning. All right, what I was looking for here on the NQ, the ones that I did manage to point out, we were looking for divergence right here. All right, then we got our cross up right there. I'll point that out to you. All right, this is the new CF slingshot. We got the cross up, the close above the MA1. I said right there would probably be a good place to go long. Obviously it was. Right here we didn't have any divergence right here. All right. But we were just looking for the continuation trade to bounce off the BBC. It tested the BBC, closed up above it, right in here. Either this close up above or this close up above. Either one of those would have been a spot where you could get long. On the short side, we had divergence down here. Bearish divergence. You see, that's the bearish divergence, and that was the cross down. There was a close down below the MA1 after test of the BBC, again right here. That was an opportunity to short. Right here we had bullish divergence. close above. Right there was an opportunity to get long. Here was another one, bullish divergence. This is on the NQ for those of you folks who like to trade the NQ. Alright, I know there are some of you guys who are partners who like to trade the NQ, and possibly some of you guys who are considering becoming partners who may like to trade the NQ. Alright, those were the opportunities right there on the NQ this morning. Okay, so there was one right there, one right there, one right there. That's the weakest one out of all of them, and it was a short one, imagine. One right there, and one right there. And there were a couple more actually before that, right here on the upside. Right here on the downside, that didn't go anywhere. Right here on the downside, that one did move down. Right here, long. And right here, short. Okay. Those were the opportunities on the NQ this morning. Alright, I'll go to the 6E next. On the 6E, we didn't have a ton of opportunity this morning. It hugged the weekly trading zone right here for most of the morning session. Okay, and when it broke the elbow to the upside over here, the white was leading the green, so it was suggesting that the BBC would hold on a pullback. It drew down a little bit, but it did end up going up. It was right into a weekly trading zone, so there's no trade there really. And that's pretty much what I was saying. Right here, when it broke the elbow to the upside, the white was not leading the green, so there was no trade there. This was a continuation trade if you had divergence, but you don't. Right here, actually, would be an opportunity because you do have divergence right there. Okay, so that's a possible opportunity right now, but at this point, I wouldn't be trading the 6E. Okay, now the Russell, we took two trades on the Russell this morning. We lost 6 ticks on one, this one right here, and we made 1 tick back on this one right here. We actually made all the ticks back, but I had moved my stop up to break even plus a tick. Actually, break even plus 2 ticks or 3 ticks, and it slipped me on the pullback. Okay. Anyway, let me just go through the trades that's set up here. Okay, I'll go through those first. This is on the Russell, and this is using what we used on Friday. You know, the Russell was hugging the zone here for the first part of the morning, so I wasn't really looking at it. Okay, finally it got over here, and there was some opportunity right in here where everything turned up, and there was divergence. So there was an opportunity to get long right in there. A pullback right here for a second opportunity on the long side. Alright, you see this pullback right here with the divergence, and then everything got long. So there was an opportunity right in there. There was another one over here. Right here, I don't know why I have this arrow pointing down right here. Oh, because everything turned down. There was no divergence at the time when everything turned down, but it was there. Okay, I tried to go long right here. There was no divergence on the long side, and this was the trade that I lost this morning. I lost 6 ticks on that trade. Alright, there was some divergence down here. This was sort of a hiccup on the short side, suggesting to get short over here. And there was some divergence on the short side right here. Okay, I'll point that out to you. Right there. Alright. Suggesting a close down below everything, like this one right here, would be a good spot to get short. And that would have been. Stuff turned around right here. It closed up above, started to move up. We did have some bearish divergence in here. Right? This bearish divergence, but nothing worked out of it. We got some bullish divergence in right here once it started to consolidate and go sideways. I'll point out the bullish divergence. When I say divergence, I mean divergence between this thick line right here and mostly the green line, but pretty much all these other lines down here. The entry point on this, let me just pop my questions up. Nobody's asking any questions right now. The entry point on all this would be the close up above everything, like right here. Okay, with all this going up, the close up above. Now, right over here, we had more bullish divergence right here. Okay, but we had a shorting opportunity while the divergence was being created, so I shorted right there. It gave me 6 ticks, maybe 7 at one point, and I moved my stop up to plus 3 or 4 ticks. I ended up getting slipped out at plus 1 tick. Okay. Then at that point, we could have actually reversed it, because we had bullish divergence and a close up above everything right here. Alright, this was the bullish divergence. And this was the close up above everything, right there. Then another one right over here. Now the thing about this is this green line never made it above the MA1. So that wasn't as attractive as, say, it would have been right here, where the green line was above the MA1. But nevertheless, we didn't have any divergence to support all that. We did have all three of these lines heading in one direction, if you wanted to get long, right in here. Alright, like they're starting to do right now. There's no divergence to support it, and it looks like it's going to start putting in some bearish divergence, but anyway, that was it. That was the Russell this morning. We ended -5 ticks on the Russell. Okay. I'll do the YM. I don't think I've done the YM yet. Dwayne covered the YM pretty much. We only took one trade. Dwayne showed you the bumps, right, this morning. On the open, it came down, turned right here at this zone. Okay, it turned right there. It came up, and it bounced around in here a little bit. We didn't take any trades in here because it was headed into a weekly trading zone. But it got up above it over here. Alright. I'm not sure why we didn't see this in here, but we didn't take any trades in here. When it came down and pulled back up above again, we did take this trade right here. And we got 20 points out of this. We went long right here. I think it was at 31.42. And we followed it right up with our DOM. We trailed our stop up. After we got 10 ticks profit, we moved our stop up to break even. After we got about 12 ticks profit, we moved our stop up to +10. After we got 15, we moved our stop up to +12. And it just went right up to give us our 20 points, okay? Now, this down here is really not that. Let me just change the properties of these things. So you can, well, you know what, I'm not going to change the properties. I think you guys can see them pretty well. You can see there was divergences down here as well. Now, right here, everything was down. This line right here, I'll change the property of that one. Give me just a second. Yeah, it's supposed to be set to a thicker property. Yeah, there it is. That right there is the cycle. So when we have divergence away from that, which we had right here, price closing above the MA1 in that direction suggests moves up. Okay, I'll show you the divergence scenarios right in here. Right in here. Right here. Right there. Right there. And even a little bit right in here. But those were all divergent scenarios. Now on the short side, we also had some of those. Pre-market mostly. But right there. Right there. Right here. And right there. Alright, those were all divergent scenarios on this slingshot indicator. Okay? The slingshot indicator. The slingshot is new. For those of you guys who are partners who don't have the slingshot yet, you need to go out to the indicator store, reinstall the CFWTZ, refresh the stuff in the indicator store before you do that, and reinstall the CFWTZ. Okay? For those of you guys who are not partners, well, you can still do it. You can still become partners. It's not too late. We'll still take you. Alright, so that was my one trade there on the YM. I got plus 20 points on that. Now, the gold. Alright, the gold is going to take me a few minutes. I know I've been going for about 15 minutes here, but the gold is going to take me a few minutes because we had a bunch of trades on gold this morning. Alright, now what I was looking for on gold, for the most part, what I was looking for on gold was all three of these lines going in the same direction. These lines down here. Okay, not the red and blue one, but these right here. All three of those going in the same direction. This was my first trade this morning. I made 5 ticks on that one. This was my second trade. I got break even on this one. Alright, you see all the lines were going in the same direction right there. I got break even on that. I entered there and exited over here for break even. This was my third trade. I actually had a lot of positive slippage on this one. because I think I ended plus 24 ticks after this. All right, so I had made 19 ticks total on this trade. And this trade over here, well, I already highlighted it down here. This was my fourth trade. I think I made 10 there, so I was 34. I think I made 12 on this one. I was up at 46 ticks right here, I think. And then I had I had a losing trade here for -6, I think. I had a break-even trade here, maybe plus 1 tick or 2 ticks, something like that. I had a winning trade here, a couple of losing trades in a row, then a winning trade. And because of these couple of losing trades in a row right here, this winning trade was only plus 1 tick, I think. At this point here, I was plus 29 ticks on the day. I think right over here, right here, I was plus 46. And over here, I was plus 29. And that's pretty much where I stopped taking the trades on the gold for the morning. All right, there were more opportunities. Right here, there was one on the short side. Right here on the long side. Right here on the short side again. It got pretty choppy in here, though. Looking at just the direction of the lines down here is primarily what I was doing. I mean, you can see when they're all going up and you close up above everything, it tends to go up, and when they're all going down and it closes below everything, it tends to go down. The divergences, I wasn't looking at the divergences as much, but just like the Russell, the same thing applies when you have these divergences between these lines and the cycle. Now let me just let me make that cycle a little thicker. It says it's a 4, but it's going to take it a second, I think, to make it thicker. Anyway, the cycle down there, you can see the divergences again in here, the close down below, the close down below. Over here, the divergence was on the long side. All right, right in there. Again, right here, the divergence was on the long side, but we didn't close up above everything until we lost the divergence. All right, now it's on the short side again. So right over here. So right in there would be where you would be looking to enter that trade. All right, and over here again, right here. All right. That is how we were trading gold this morning. All right, so tomorrow morning we may trade gold again the same way. Some people seem to like it in the room this morning. I didn't have any requests to not trade gold. People did want to see a little more of the Russell. It seems like since I moved away from the ES a little bit into these other markets that are moving all the time, very few people are requesting to go back to the ES. But that's neither here nor there. The ES is a staple, and if it's moving, we're going to keep trading it. Okay. All right. So recap of the morning again: plus 29 gold, -5 Russell, and plus 20 YM. That's how we're gonna end it here. All right. If anybody has any questions, you can email support@cfrn.net. If you haven't taken a free trial, go to www.cfrn.net/apply, APPLY, and you can take the free trial with us. In the free trial, you get all of our indicators, including the new slingshot. You get access to all the data and charts that you see here, and you get to sit in the live trading room with us. All right, for 5 business days. 5 business days, and then we ask you to make a decision. All right, so that's it, guys. Gonna wrap it up here.